Be respectful of everyone's time. We are videoing today, so I'm going to try to stay in my little box here. I'm going to have everybody put their card in. If you haven't put a card in the basket, please do so. This is for something you guys are just going to love because you love so much. Okay.
This is the Hungry Realtor Support Group, right? Good. I'm just making sure I'm in the right place.
Okay. Today, we're going to be talking about keeping your business strong in a changing market. So I'm hearing from all of you all that, hey, finally getting listings, not getting any showings on my listings. For a while, wasn't getting any listings. Where are all the buyers? We came off of a spring where there were too many buyers and not enough listings. So obviously this year we've experienced quite a flip-flop in the market, from craziness in the spring, you know, writing contracts on stuff and not getting them, to now sitting here on our listings wondering where all buyers went. So we need to be creative whenever the market changes. You know, I have lived through, many of us in this room have lived through the downturn that happened in the market in 2008. And I remember the day. I remember an agent calling me up and going, "You got any listings on your showing any showings on your listing over there in Whittier?" It's like, it was like one day and it stopped. We went from crazy market, multiple offers, to silence. Everybody was like checking the MLS. Was it really working? Did everybody get my stuff in? Kim just talked to me. Yeah. Is it in there? Is it going out? Is it right? Is it the conversion? So what we need to do is obviously be proactive when things change. So we don't panic. We're all in this for the long haul. You know, you guys are full-time people. You're in it for the long haul, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can proactively to make sure that we can get our listings sold, buyers buying, and you know, just make it through a shifting market and stay positive while we're doing that. And so that's the number one thing that we need to do, is have a positive mental attitude. You know, guys, I'm always talking about, you know, the secrets of success and the law of attraction and all of those things. It's really important that when we start to feel a shift, and we start to get panicky and we start to worry, because we all know we live on commission. If you guys aren't selling any properties, I'm not making any money either, so I get the same pit in my stomach when I see no sales going up on the board. What's happening? So, but it's really, really important that we stay positive and strong, because our clients need us to be positive and have a positive mental attitude. And if we start to make decisions based on anxiety, worry, scarcity, you make bad decisions. So whatever we can do to continue to have positive attitudes, positive affirmations. You know, I read stuff every single day. Here's a book on the law of attraction, and it talks about, you know, having positive affirmations. Turn on some music in the morning and crank it up, and if that's what makes you happy, then that's what makes you happy. So anytime you start to feel you're getting in that doubt, worry, anxiety state, oh my gosh, I'm not getting showings on my listings, where are the buyers, what's going on? Let's get in a positive attitude, and then we're going to walk away today with some specific activities that we can be doing and focused on, so that we know that we're doing everything we can to stay strong in a shifting market. So I want today to be, you guys have a ton of experience. We have a ton of experience in this room. I want today to be an open discussion, open forum. I've brought some ideas here directly from your RE/MAX University for us to go, you know, to follow and go through. But I want this to be open, you know, open talk, open suggestions. And in your packets, you're going to see some places for some notes on the back. So So I want to make sure that you leave here with some notes, and we're going to make sure we leave here with some action steps at the end of the day.
Do we have any more of those packets? Sam?
Yeah.
A couple.
Rachel was out. Rachel was making some more.
Oh, okay.
Because we ran out. And again, share, when we all share with each other and ideas with each other, then, that's how we all learn and grow and support each other. Do I have everybody's card in here in the basket?
No.
Okay.
Grab one.
Because I'm on tape, so you guys have to come up here. So what I'm going to do before we even start, Choice, do you have a card on you, perchance? Okay. What we're gonna do before we even get started, because I know one of the most important things is you guys will sit here today and you'll write down some great ideas, and then you're going to go back and you're going to go put this on your desk. And then you're going to go about your day, and then 2 weeks from now, you'll go back and go, oh, you know what, I actually should have done some of these activities instead of checking my email all day or checking Facebook or whatever, because now I'm freaking out because I don't have any buyers or whatever. So, we're going to do a little accountability. So, what we're going to do is when we leave here today, you're going to have some action steps. And you guys are going to pick a card out, and for those of you guys who don't have a card, we'll if there's 2 left over, we'll know who your accountability partners are going to be. I think it's just Krista and Choice, right, that don't have cards. And all right.
Make that look like you need to go get one.
You want to run out and get one? If you guys don't mind, why don't you guys go grab one real quick? Because I know, Kim, you're right up the street. You're right up the hallway. So, and then when you come back, we'll let you grab a card. It can't be your own card either. By the way. Not gonna figure that out. Your task at the end of today will be to connect with your.
I know I got a single too.
Let me look. It is.
Okay.
There was 2 different things, there's avoid the intramotogeneric referrals and any other package.
Yeah, but this is.
I think they all should be part of the packet,
Okay.
because I have that as part of the packet.
Page 2.
We should have those 3 things plus notes.
Yes.
Does everybody have a packet?
I don't know if Troy's did.
I got
I have 2
your
packets now. Oh, it's so thick.
So your task at the end of today, before you leave here, will be to connect with your accountability partner that you drew, and pick a date and time next week to connect with them. I don't care if it's phone, text, whatever it is you decide, but you want to pick a date and time next week to connect with your accountability partner and let them know what action steps you're doing and what you've taken and what you're proceeding with today. Because we know without accountability, things don't tend to happen. Okay, have everybody's card now? Mr. Godby, did I get your card? Matt? Okay, we're going to start over here. Sandy, grab a card, close your eyes, grab a card,
She's
can't be
looking,
yourself.
she's looking. Are we supposed to say it out loud?
Actually, yeah, you probably should, because then once that person's name's been drawn, they won't need to draw a name. So, Gary Duckworth, you and Sandy Snyder are accountability partners. Choice, you and Michelle. Make sure you connect. And what we'll do is make sure they get your card.
Sue Collins.
Sue Collins.
Page Blair.
Blair.
Debbie,
She take one and then pass it around. Once we get everybody's,
John McNamara.
Oh.
uh-oh. Is that gonna work okay?
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So is-
No, wait, you
Sandy,
can't.
Is this the person that
Sandy.
is accountable to us, or is this the person that we're
You guys
accountable?
are going to be accountable to each other.
What if somebody else
Okay,
can't?
well,
You can't,
well, then you know what?
Krista can't
We
pick
should
John's.
probably- you know, we should
Krista
probably
can't
pull
pick
them out.
John's.
Oh, right.
because John picked Debbie.
John picked Debbie. All right, I didn't think this through.
That's okay.
Say if you've already been picked, you don't pick a card.
Yeah,
Right?
go ahead and pick another one, since you've already got, he's already got an accountability, pick a different card. Here, you get John's.
Sorry,
I already took it.
didn't
That's somebody else, you get.
Oh, that's fine. That's just an extra one of mine.
Somebody got that. Peggy, okay. You too? No, you guys don't have a partner.
Okay, then I need to put this one back.
If you've been
Give
picked,
that to,
Put that one back in.
if you've already been picked, then you can't pick a card. That's all.
I know.
Because it came around, and I picked a card.
Oh,
But it's she,
okay.
yeah, so we're good.
Right.
All right, so
You guys
Debbie.
just- I'm gonna take the whole class.
Everybody got one.
Who did you pick?
Andrea,
If you've already been picked, do not take a card.
if you've already been picked, don't take a card.
We got this.
Jim is next. I'm good. Rich Phillips, yeah.
Okay.
But then, like, if somebody picks me, they gotta toss it back.
Christy. Krista.
That's her.
Krista Salone.
Wait, but does she already have one?
No. Did you already pick a
Yeah,
card?
yeah, she's named.
That's right.
Does she need to
Yeah.
toss her card out there?
I'm already got one.
Keep
Leave it out, yeah.
Keep
But
going.
give that to, who's your accountability partner,
We're gonna make
Chris?
it through.
Rich, I'll give it to Rich.
Greg.
Greg.
Regina.
Greg.
Greg.
Regina, there you go.
Thank you.
She's getting all this right now.
So have you already gotten it?
Gary, did your name already get picked?
Yes. No. Gary
Yeah,
Duckworth.
Gary.
Duckworth was picked, not.
Duckworth was picked, not Preston.
Right. Right. Gary
I've already had some.
Preston? Yes, Gary Preston.
Oh, I didn't say it.
Sandy picked herself.
No calories until.
Are we on pause?
Matt.
I want to leave it because I don't want to
I'm already paid.
I need a new accountability partner, I guess.
Now I got you.
Thank you.
Already taken.
Friday night.
Now I have to make it.
So why don't
I'll put it on my.
you just get lunch?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Hello.
Pick
You
again.
just do lunch here.
Wow, here's the bus, and here's, great.
I know, right?
I already got one. Michelle, you already have one, so give that to Gary, actually, because he has.
No, I have.
Gary, no, I'm
Mary
sorry.
Duckworth's already
This could be a whole new game, like concentration.
Give that to
Now, who
Joyce.
had,
Royce is already picked.
I'm very confused.
Royce already got picked.
She did, but right, exactly.
now whoever can like match the agent to agent through the whole room gets a prize.
This is an excellent networking idea.
It is. You have to guess like who's with who. And we can see who's paying attention and who's not.
Okay, so the only part that's left is Kim.
Oh, so we had an uneven number?
Oh, that's
Well,
funny.
guess who gets to be your accountability?
Oh, my.
Who gets hammered?
All right. So what I did is I went on to Remax University because, as we know, there's tons of information out there on Remax University, and I picked some topics that I felt would be helpful for you all right now. So we're going to kind of watch the video, and you have your quick hit notes from the video here, and then I want you to go on your back page, and you can start to write some notes. Then what we're going to do after each video as well, kind of put some of the top tips that we feel like would be good for us to do, or that you feel, or if you have something else for this specific topic that they didn't go over, we'll write it on here as well. Make sense? Okay, so our first, and I know it's not such tight inventory right now, but actually we are in certain price ranges feeling tight inventory. I know that, lower price ranges, first-time home buyers, we're still getting multiple offers out there in some areas, in some properties. So we're going to talk about generating listings, and we always need to generate listings. When the market gets slow, I know you guys say, oh my gosh, my listings aren't getting showings, but when the market gets slow, you've got to increase your pipeline. So it's really important, if you're used to working with 5 or 6 listings regularly, that you have 10 to 12 listings regularly, because they're not all going to sell, and it's going to take them longer. So we need to do whatever we can to increase the pipeline as it's coming in. And all of these activities today will help you do that too. So here we go. Just a 6-minute video here.
Can you make it big? Like, no, down,
Right.
on the right, to your, yeah, up. Go up in the picture.
What I do in real estate is
There.
really about connecting the buyer,
Thank you.
connecting the seller. And the way that I look at my job is find my own listings for my buyers because the inventory is so low. Tell my buyers, in this market, where I bring value to is not finding homes that are active on the MLS. Just where I bring my value to is finding the homes that are not on the market. Finding the sellers that want to sell but aren't listing. I get up in the morning with the intention of, let's see how many off-market properties can I find today? How many conversations can I be in? There's plenty of people that want to sell their home, but they may not necessarily be ready to list their home. My advocates, people that I know, and I just ask them to do me a favor and just keep their eyes and ears open and connect me with anyone who is in conversation about real estate. If you're going for a walk or you happen to be driving by, if you find a house that's kind of run down, I've got a buyer, they're willing to do some work into the home to be in your neighborhood. So if you have a home that's the black sheep of that neighborhood, contact me, give me a call. And people love to be a contribution like that. Or I had 2 people call me last week and their neighbor 2 doors down, her husband just passed away. So it's asking. I send them a handwritten note. I've got a buyer that's looking specifically in this area. Have you considered selling? If there's a financial benefit to selling now, is that a conversation you'd be willing to have with me? And I keep it very simple and very clear and concise, right? I'm not dropping off any special marketing piece because they're getting so much of that being mailed to them. I just found that the handwritten notes just seem to be more effective. And normally when I'm going through my stack of mail, that tends to be one of the first ones that I open up personally. I just have a game and a goal to have 20 or more conversations with people throughout the day. I could be in conversation with someone at my son's swim meet, making sure that they know that I am looking for more homes on the market. So that could count as a conversation. I make it a point to get out to at least 3 or 4 houses 2 to 3 times a week. Before I go out there, I'm making sure that I'm in that neighborhood at the appropriate time of day so that I can really capture the largest number of people being at home. If I know that it's in a hipster neighborhood with younger working professionals, then my intention is to book it on a Saturday morning or a little later in the afternoons, in the evening hours, especially during the summertime. And then that gives me time to go knock on a couple doors right in that immediate area. And on the flip side of it, if I know that it's more of a retirement community and if those homeowners are available at 2 p.m., that's an appointment to be booking in the middle of the day. But the key is I'm already out there, I'm out in the field, I'm out in the neighborhoods, and to really maximize that time. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Sophia. I'm a local real estate agent, and I have buyers that are looking specifically for homes in your neighborhood. And I saw that you had your home on the market. I sent you a note card about a week or so ago, and I just wanted to stop by, introduce myself, and see if this property is still available, or if you'd be willing to have a conversation with me. You know, if there were some benefit to you still selling. They're going to get you the knee-jerk no, which is oftentimes, you know, they've been on the market, they're embarrassed, they're upset, they're frustrated, they may have lost out on another property. The key is to get them into conversation with you, and I want to just unfold as to, you know, what happened. Getting them reconnected to why, to their why. You know, people just don't get up in the morning and decide that I'm going to go through all the pain of listing my home unless there's a compelling reason to. People are telling me that they're getting discouraged, you know, with finding another home to purchase. The case of I'm not ready to sell now because I can't find a home. You know, let's talk about, you know, what are the features and benefits of this new home? You know, what is that offering you? And I'll tell you what, like I'll just keep it on my radar, and as I'm out talking to other homeowners and looking for homes for my other buyers, and if I come across anything, I circle back and let you know if I come up with anything. It's just really about knowing the inventory that's out there, or creating inventory that's both on the market and off the market. So a lot of my phone calls just sound like, you know, I spoke with another homeowner this morning, and there may be a property that I found that you may want to take a look at. Let's see if this works for you. You know, and if it does work for you, then let's have a conversation about getting your house on the market.
Okay, so, what did we, and then you have kind of some of the list things that came directly from the video as well. So tell me what you all took away from that maybe you would do now that you haven't been doing, or if you've been doing some of these things, how is it working and how could you expand it? How many of you all actually do go out? I know a lot of you do pop-buys, because if you're in the Buffini group, you are doing pop-buys. How many of you all are actually calling some of your sellers just to say, or just some of your sphere, just to have lunch or coffee, just to say, hey, we have people looking in your neighborhood, can we set up a coffee date? And Paige, you guys are doing that? Mm-hmm. How many of you all are actually walking around neighborhoods and door knocking? That's a tougher one, isn't it?
I don't think it's safe, really, unless you go in a pair, honestly.
Well, it
It just
depends. I
depends
think
on
it
the
depends on the time of day and time in the neighborhood. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, you did? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
This is exactly what I did when I first started in 2008 and 2009, and I got a lot of businesses then. I actually would try to have open houses for other agents, and I would go and knock on every single door in the neighborhood and invite them. The mailman knew me, everybody, and I got listings that way, I got buyers that way, and people who are renting.
So some seller activities could be, when you're having an open house, invite everyone in the neighborhood. Or do an open house for somebody else too. I've seen a lot of those opportunities out there from other agents in the office, so.
When you all give your answers, can you speak loud enough for the camera, please?
How many of you guys are working expireds? That's something that will come back. Now, you know, I know when the market's busy and you really don't need to, but expired listings really can be a good source of, because you know that people wanted to sell at some point. You got to find out why didn't they sell. Many times it's price, or they just have an unrealistic expectation. But you'll be surprised at, you know, start pulling up the expired listings. Please be careful and make sure it didn't get relisted, because that happens. Sometimes it expires and somebody put it on as a new listing, so double check it. Don't call somebody or go knock on their door. Maybe the sign isn't even up yet and it's already been listed with somebody else, because we don't want to be harassing people, but we do want to make sure. I think that personal note, you know, on there is a great idea, just to send a personal note or to send a little packet, or if you're out in the neighborhood, you know, go knock on a door and don't be afraid to. A lot of times I think we get shy and we don't want to be a pest, but you know, extraordinary times takes for sometimes stepping outside your comfort zone and doing extraordinary measures as well, if you want to make it in a down market. So door knock your neighborhood open houses. Expired. What else did she say that you guys think that, you know, good idea? She wrote down.
Advocates.
Yeah, advocates. So that's your sphere, right? This is a big thing. When we really need listings or when we really need buyers, make your phone calls intentional. I remember, Peggy, you shared with me, you wanted more listings one year. So you wrote down on your computer, I want more listings. So you became very intentional when making your phone calls. It's a great time to sell. You know, do you know of anybody looking to buy or sell? So you're not just chit-chatting it up on the phone, but you're making your calls very intentional. So, advocates, sphere. Intentional. And you know, when we talk about all the activities that we've been doing, the calls, the notes, the pop-bys, the open houses, what do you think you have to do? So if you've been making, you know, 5 phone calls a day, but we need to widen the funnel, bring more in, you think maybe our goals need to be set up a little bit higher? So instead of 5 calls a day, maybe we make it 8 or 9. I really like the fact she's out there in neighborhoods talking to people and not just, you know, sitting around. And Facebook can be great, but I'm telling you, face to face is still better than sitting behind your computer or your phone and being on Facebook. It makes a difference. What else? What else are you guys finding that works for you? Get more listings, get more inventory.
I think we get a lot of traffic coming in off of you know, sign calls and stuff like that, just here in the office. So one of the things that I kind of struggle with that I want to do is go back to those leads that maybe I got 6 months ago, or maybe I got 8 months ago, maybe I had a conversation with them and they were wishy-washy, but kind of going back to those and just touching base, just to say, you know,
Yep.
did you ever do anything? Are you still, you know,
Right.
looking?
Review old leads. That happens a lot, especially when, you know, it's busy. And we had a lot of buyers who dropped out of the market in the spring because there was just no inventory, and some of those people went out and rented. Well, maybe they only rented for 6 months. That's a fantastic idea to go back and, you know, pull through some of those old leads, because when we get busy, they kind of get put on the back burner and we forget. So, anything else? Come on, you guys have been in business for a long time. What do you do? And many of you all have been through the crappy market time. What did you do to generate business?
If you belong to any organizations, try to get a name and address of the people that are in that organization and send them whatever. I send recipe cards. I can't cook, but I send that.
So build your influence, build your sphere. Through community. And that's actually one of it's a great lead-in for one of our next topics. All right. Anything
about-
else?
Kick your networking back into gear that you forgot about while you were so busy in the spring. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing a ton of networking and just picking out, like going to chamber events, picking out 2 or 3 people that I feel like I connected with at the networking event, getting in touch with them, taking them out for coffee, just getting to know them. That way they get to know me.
You know, when
And
she
making sure
said
I
she has
follow up.
20, tries to have 20 conversations a day, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
That's part of that.
Yeah.
Nancy?
I find knowing your numbers is the best way to motivate yourself. I've been in the up and down market now probably 3 or 4 times. And I learned very early that listings are key to keeping your income. And if you know what income you need to have, then you work that through listings. So you'll know how many listings you have to have in inventory in order to make your income.
Would you all be interested in doing, I can do a little mini business planning class where we could just do that, write it down, how many do I need, because you're probably not gonna get them all, what's your income, we can do that. Average sales price, we know what they are for you all, so we could do, you know, just one of those on our Tuesday trainings, just to do a quick, know your numbers. It's a great idea. Because if you don't have the GPS in place, you don't know where to get. Yeah.
There's one other thing that I actually started working on yesterday is, you know, and I guess that kind of falls under systems, but you know, you get a ton of emails every single day from agents all over the place, title companies, lenders, you name it. And I've been trying to categorize those emails that I'm getting and create basically somewhat of a database of just those people, so that when I do put a listing on the market, I can send, you know, using Constant Contact, costs $20 a month. Constant Contact, send out one of the RE/MAX flyers, and then every time there's a price reduction or a change in some kind of status, blast that out to every single agent that has ever reached out to you, because they're all doing it. So,
Right.
because you never know where, like you say that all the time, you never know where your buyer's going to come from. It could come from West Virginia, Pennsylvania, some agent, some lender somewhere that has a
Right.
qualified buyer. You just never know. So capturing that, we don't want to put junk into our database because junk in, junk out.
Right.
But maybe a separate system for all that junk might actually turn into, you know, a potential deal somewhere, a buyer for your listing.
So other agents and. And that's a big one, lenders and title, I think especially right now as the rates go up. Sandy?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just gonna piggyback on what Cass said. I'm having a vendor breakfast in November, and I sent out an email to like 30 people, and I've already gotten 5 responses. So kind of the same theory.
Right. Yep, it's that business networking and keeping it going and just remembering to keep it going. So, as, you know, as buyers start to freak out, I know I talked about this at the office meeting the other day, as buyers start to freak out about interest rates going up, like we've all said, it's not about the interest rate, it's about the monthly payment. And so, you know, I think it's really important to be connecting with your lenders and be doing some flyers on your listings that show what the monthly payment is. I know Jen told me yesterday, there are so many programs